Hello dear YouTube Sangha. Welcome to another episode of Dharma Stories. This story has been adapted and is being narrated by Dharma Peace. This story is taken from Sigālovāda Sutta, Ambalaṭṭhika Rāhulo vāda Sutta, and the Mahārāhulovāda Sutta. The content of the following story is the result of compiling disparate yet canonical sources to compose a singular narrative. Thank you for listening. This is the Buddha on Discerning True Friends. One bright morning in the city of Rajagaha, the young householder Sigāla was seen bowing to the 6 directions, east, south, west, north, above, and below, as his late father had taught him. The Blessed One, seeing his devotion, approached and said gently, "Why, young householder, do you bow to the 6 directions?" Sigāla replied, "Out of respect of my father's final wish, Blessed One. He said that by worshipping the 6 directions, I would live in safety and be blessed." The Buddha smiled softly. "You honor your father well, Sigāla, but to truly guard the 6 directions, one must also live in right relation to those they represent. Would you like to know how a noble disciple truly protects the north, the direction of friendship?" Eagerly, Sigāla bowed. "Yes, Blessed One, for I have been betrayed by one I called a friend. I trusted him deeply, yet he turned from me in my time of need. Tell me, how do I know a true friend from a false one?" The Buddha said, "Sigāla, the one who deserts you when hardship comes is what people call a fair weather friend. He is with you in times of ease, but vanishes when you need him most. Such is not the way of true friendship." Then the Buddha said, "There are 4 kinds of false friends, who appear pleasant but bring sorrow instead of safety. Listen well, Sigāla, and I shall tell you how to recognize them. The first is the flatterer. Once, said the Buddha, my attendant Ananda met a man who praised him day and night. 'Ananda,' the man said, 'you are wise beyond compare. Surely the Blessed One favors you most.' Yet when Ananda asked this man for help preparing alms for the sick monks, the man suddenly had other matters to tend to. Later, Ananda learned that the man had spoken harshly of him to others, saying he sought only the Buddha's favor. Thus the flatterer's tongue is sweet as honey, but hides a sting. He praises when it profits him, and withdraws when generosity is asked. Such a friend, Sigāla, is like a painted pot, bright on the outside, hollow within." The second is the idle promiser. There was a time when my disciple Sariputta, wise and steady, met a man who said, "If ever you need assistance, Master, call upon me." But when a drought came to the region and the monks labored to draw water for the sick, that man was nowhere to be found. Later he said, "Had I known you truly needed help, I would have come." Such a one, Sigāla, speaks as a drum sounds, hollow, echoing, full of noise, but empty of substance. Their friendship exists only in words. The third is the self-seeker. Once Mahākassapa, ever contented with little, was visited by a merchant who offered robes and fine food. "I give these out of faith," he said. But soon he began to ask for blessings in return, that his business prosper, that his rivals fail. When Kassapa gently refused, the man grew angry and withdrew his offerings. Such is the self-seeker, Sigāla. His friendship is like a fire made of straw, bright for a moment, then cold and gone. He does not love the person, only the profit. Number 4, the corrupter. There was another, said the Buddha, who sought the company of Moggallana, though not out of faith. "Let us rest from our striving," he said. "You meditate too much. Come enjoy the world's pleasures, fine food, soft beds, the company of friends." But Moggallana, seeing the danger, declined. That man later fell into ruin through his indulgence. Such a friend, Sigāla, is a corrupter. He invites you into darkness while calling in light. He is like a vine that clings to a tree, not to support it, but to drain its strength. And here by darkness, the Buddha is actually talking about the difference between living in the day and living in the night. Sigāla listened intently, his brow furrowed. "Blessed One, these friends seem easy to despise. Should I cast away all those who act so?" The Buddha looked upon him with compassion. "Not so, Sigāla. Even those caught in folly are not beyond healing. Once, even my son Rahula, in his youth, spoke carelessly and was tempted by vanity. but I did not cast him aside. Instead I said, Rahula, reflect as one looking into a mirror before you speak or act. Ask if your words bring harm or peace, if your deeds bring benefit or sorrow. The unwholesome states, anger, sorrow, restlessness, ignorance, visit a person like clouds passing before the sun. They obscure the light, but do not destroy it. When mindfulness and wisdom return, the clouds clear and the radiance of the mind shines again. So do not condemn a friend who falters, but be discerning. Guide them if you can, and if not, step back without hatred or aversion. For resentment binds you to their error, but compassion frees you both. And the Buddha concluded, Therefore, Sigāla, guard your heart as a gardener guards a tender tree, pruning what is diseased, but never scorning the tree itself, for ever the barren branch may one day bloom again. Sigāla bowed deeply, and the Buddha's disciples sat silently, their hearts lifted by the wisdom that is gentle, discerning, and kind. After teaching Sigāla about the false friends, the Blessed One leaned back against the shade of a Bodhi tree and said gently, Now, young householder, listen well, for there are also friends who are true in heart. These friends lift you, protect you, guide you, and rejoice in your welfare. I shall tell you who they are through the lives of those who walk this path with me. First, there is the helper, Sigāla, the Buddha said, one who comes to your aid when you are in difficulty, who sees your need before you even ask. My disciple, Anuruddha, is such a friend. Once, while I was meditating in a remote grove, Anuruddha noticed danger approaching, a fire creeping near the monastery. Swiftly he warned the monks and helped move the sick and the young to safety. He did not wait to be praised. He acted from care and vigilance alone. The helper, like Anuruddha, is a friend whose heart is awake and whose hand is ready. The second is the loyal friend, who remains the same in happiness and sorrow, steadfast even when times are difficult. This friend possesses equanimity. My disciple Upali, learned and disciplined, once faced mockery for standing firm in the Vinaya, yet he did not waver, did not abandon his vows, and remained a beacon of steadiness to others. Likewise, Mahākassapa, austere and unwavering, stands by virtue and the path of the Dhamma without complaint. The loyal friend is like a pillar in a storm, unmoving, reliable, and true. The third is the counselor, one who speaks truth to guide you, restrains you from harm, and teaches you what is good. My disciple Sariputta shows this every day, giving wise counsel to the monks, reminding them to act with discernment and to follow the path to awakening. Moggallana too demonstrates this courage and counsel, intervening decisively to protect those at risk, guiding them safely away from danger. Such friends are mirrors and shields that reflect your faults clearly, yet protect you from harm. The fourth and lastly is the compassionate friend. There is the compassionate friend who rejoices in your joy and grieves in your sorrow. My disciple Ananda embodies this warmth. When a monk recovers from illness, he rejoices. When another is burdened, he comforts with words and deeds. The compassionate friend softens the heart, offering support and tenderness when it is most needed, like cool shade on a hot day or water to the thirsty traveler. The Buddha looked at young Sigāla, his eyes calm and bright, and said, Even the smallest heart can grow into a true friend, Sigāla. My son Rahula, in his youth, did not always act wisely, yet I did not abandon him. I guided him gently, teaching him to observe his own mind, to speak with care, and to act with kindness. Over time, he learned to restrain rashness, to rejoice in the welfare of others, and to walk faithfully on the path. In this way, a friend who is inexperienced or clouded can grow into one who embodies the qualities of loyalty, counsel, help, and compassion. Unwholesome states, anger, sorrow, restlessness, ignorance, are like clouds passing across the sun. They may dim the light, but they cannot destroy it. With patience and mindfulness, the radiance of understanding will shine again. Therefore, Sigāla, when a friend falters, guide them when you can, support them when possible, but never condemn them for their temporary struggles. True friendship recognizes both the cloud and the sun beyond it. Sigāla bowed deeply, understanding that compassion and discernment together make the heart a safe place for others and a stable ground for oneself. The Buddha's disciples, Anuruddha, Upali, Sariputta, Moggallana, Mahākassapa, Ananda, and young Rahula, sat quietly, living examples of the true friends the Blessed One had described.